We'll start with Mike and then go to Ben and then go to Ryan.
Yeah, Tony, obviously you guys got a lot of clutch performances at the plate from guys like Evan last night, Drew today, and Luke. How proud are you of the way those guys battled through?
Proud, but also just a little relieved and also really happy for Evan Russell. As much as you beg the kids to not look at a lot of things, but some of them being internet stats, I'm sure they do, and it probably bothers them when they're not what they want them to be. But by the end of the year, the numbers will even themselves out if the kids have the right approach. And almost every day, Evan does have the right approach. To see him get rewarded is awesome, but also just kind of put that day together. And then I don't mind saying it now that the game's over. It would have been really tough to swallow to lose a game where one of our kids or just a Tennessee Vol has an effort like that in one day. So not only did we win the game, come back, win the series, but to me, we salvaged an epic day by Evan Russell when we won that game.
Tony, just what were those, 12 to 16 hours like in between the game being suspended and having to resume the game today, and just what Kirby was able to do, and then Drew Gilbert just leading the 2 walk-offs in one day? Just kind of what was that process like for you, and what was your message to the team coming back to the ballpark today?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining for me when that O'Malley dude was fighting in the UFC fight. So that was a good kind of get your mind off things. But there wasn't a lot of sleep because you were going to have your mind racing going on all the things that went on last night. And then you were going to have to get up early for this morning's game. But I didn't have much to say this morning other than just to throw BP to some guys and watch them do their thing. And I think I felt that way, and the other coaches did too, because we had a great conversation in the locker room last night. And it was basically about, future, past, and present. And we'll kind of leave it at that. But they showed up ready for the present moment. And I think even if we don't win that game for some reason, or if Drew doesn't get a hit or the right fielder catches it, that first inning was impressive, starting with, Kirby's strikeout on one pitch, and then just the whole vibe they had going.
Yeah, just how contagious is the kind of confidence and winning mindset that this team seems to have right now?
Yeah, well, Ryan, contagious is not a good word to use in 2020 or 2021, but I know where you're going with that. I think it's a self-belief thing, and you need everybody to have their own self-belief, but when it kind of spirals or spins downhill for the whole team, now it's a team belief thing. And I think they feel good about any situation we're now, left in any game. And part of that is our own fault, our own doing. We've put ourselves in some really tough circumstances, but we've also, worked our butts off, or the kids have, to put themselves in some interesting situations. So now we've kind of seen them all. I mean, that's 2 games now, I think, where the bases loaded have been intentionally walked, or maybe even 3. So just a situation that pops into my head. But I think you can get the ball spinning downhill for you if you have some days like today, that's for sure.
All right, we'll go to Wes next, and then we'll go to Joseph after that.
Yeah, Tony, in a game like this, it seemed like LSU was on base every inning, and there were so many sort of, nervy kind of pressure-packed pitches. How much does it help having a guy like Hundley on the mound there? Just a guy who doesn't really seem to emote almost when he's out there. He just seems so level-headed.
Yeah, no, he is, which is a good lesson for all our other guys. We've said that before. But it also means you can just kind of sit back and say, this is what we're going to do. And Redmond's earned that right too. And hey, both those guys have been out there before in their careers, which are now long ones, where it didn't go well. But those are 2 guys, because of their work ethic, how good of teammates they are, the stuff they have too. When they're in there, you can just kind of sit back. I mean, there's other times where you're looking at matchups and you're going up and down the roster, but there's a sense of comfort, I think, for the coaching staff. So that means that's got to carry over to the players too, because the players usually sense what the coaches are feeling. And I think it makes our guys better players. So again, a lesson learned for the other pitchers, but it's not easy to achieve that status. It comes with a lot of time. It comes with a lot of work, and it comes with great, great presence. And I'm proud to call myself teammates with those guys that I mentioned.
Tony, we haven't had a weekend like this since the early 2000s. What does it say about this team and more specifically about you as a head coach coming in and being able to turn around this program?
I think it says a lot about the team, but I'll come back to that. I think first it says something about Knoxville as a baseball community. Call it a sleeping giant if you want to refer to the group or not. But I mean, there's all this talk about it, maybe a AA stadium and all those things. There's a lot of good baseball. I mean, look at all the good players that have come out of this area. I hate to go down the recruiting trail, but it's even getting better. There's a lot of good baseball people. Joe Nathan, I mean, the crazy amount of people that live in this community that are big time baseball people. So it's there. They just needed to be riled up a little bit. And guys like Drew Gilbert will rile up about anyone. So I also feel like it says a lot about the team because they have, and I don't just mean this team. I mean, last year and the year before, they've kind of knocked down some walls, literally. I mean, to my right and to my left, we've got new stuff going on in our facility. Nothing major, but there are things that have happened because of the way our guys have worked and the way they've played. And they've gotten certain people to say, man, I got your guys back. I like the way you guys do things. So we appreciate those guys that have been here for all those years, like Russell and Luke, who had the walk-off hit today, and Pete, who battled through that foul ball off his foot, Heflin, who started a game, Hunley. It's getting us to places. And I hope the guys that are right behind him are ready to carry the torch.
All right, guys, we'll do 3 more. We'll go to Troy and then back to Ben and then back to Wes to finish.
Tony, I know you don't hang your hat on wins in March, but you all came into the season kind of hoping to be able to rectify some of the things you didn't get to do last year with a sweep like this. Do you kind of feel like that starts to realize a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think just kind of starting the talk was this was our first SEC weekend in Knoxville since that Mississippi series almost 2 years ago. So it's nice to win the games, but the vibes kind of started a little bit in Georgia, but then a lot here in Knoxville when it's kind of a, pinch yourself deal where it's like, here we are, we get to do this. And yeah, I mean, I've behaved like a child plenty. People know that I want to win games, but I have said to the team many times and myself, I just want to play as many games as possible this year. It was a struggle mentally for everybody not to get to do what you work for and what you enjoy doing. So every time we get to go out there, even if it's a rough day or a long day or a rainy day, everybody should appreciate it to the fullest. And I know I do. And the way these guys play, I think they do as well.
Tony, just what were your thoughts on Blade today? And I'm going to steal an idea from Mike. Drew Gilbert had a sweatshirt last year with your face on it. After today, could we see a sweatshirt for you of Drew's face on it?
Yeah, you're kind of spoiling something that maybe was in the works a little bit, but no, I'm going to take that idea and run with it if we keep it between you and I. But he's also got a sweatshirt with Coach Q's face on it. So he's a lot tougher than he looks, maybe if you're going by stature, because I wouldn't mess with Q at all. But he's, kind of got the creativity bag going at all times with things he brings to the park. But what was your other question? I'm sorry.
Blade.
Yeah, that guy. He's all right, huh? Just another good outing for him. I think, his first SEC outing at home would be the way I would start. And his, kind of evolution as a pitcher is going on right in front of us. And it's going to be fun to watch. But this was his first SEC outing at home. He's kind of starting to shake a little bit more on pitches that we call or Coach A calls or PAV relays. Other things to it. And again, I think that's why the best pitchers I've been around have stayed that way or have gotten that way as they evolve each time out. And anyone that's in Knoxville or the state of Tennessee now knows Blade's really good, and probably a lot of other people. So the key for him and the enjoyment for me is just that evolution that's going on. And I think he's right in the thick of it right now.
Tony, I guess every win kind of counts the same no matter how you win it. But, sometimes the opponent will just kind of give you a little bit of a gift or help you. But the way LSU made y'all earn that one, I mean, some of the plays they made defensively to extend the game, just, and I'm sure your guys know that too. Just how much more does it feel good when you've actually earned a win like that?
It does matter. I mean, like you said, each win is worth one, but I've got a good buddy that coaches basketball, and of course, good buddies with Coach Barnes too. But a big time dunk can really change an entire game at the right moment and give a team momentum. And so the way things go down, like if Pete's safe at first, or even just moving the guy on a slash, in that situation when their third baseman crashed, it's even better than a sacrifice. It just is, because momentum is a real thing in sports. And wins like today can give our guys momentum literally throughout the entire year, because it's a top program. There's top talent. And I mean, there's a shortstop who's making plays that big leaguers may not make in certain situations. So it does mean a little bit more, and it does give you confidence. And you'd like to think everything's one cup equals one cup, but that's not the case in sports, which is one of the reasons it's real fun.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.